Hi everyone, this is Brooke.
Hi.
Brooke is part of the Bainey family, which is part of my host family, and I thought it would be a good idea to give you a video explaining why I have a host family. What is a host family?
Why is she here?
Yeah, why do I have an American host family? So, yeah, this is, I guess, the video explaining that. It all started in the summer of 2016 when I was 16, and I was on vacation with my parents, and there's something called a high school year. It's really just an exchange year, although not really an exchange because exchange would mean that you would be sent to my parents, which wasn't the case. I just went there. And it's just something I really wanted to do super bad, but my mom always said no. But then this one summer of 2016, she was like, well, I guess maybe now if you wanted to do something like that, you'd be old enough. And I was like, wait, what? Like, right, so now you're saying that like I would be allowed to do something like this? So over the course of that school year, we got in touch with a program called Travel Active, who sort of sets that up for you. And it's this whole thing, like, so you stay with a host family and then you go to a high school. That's the whole premise of it, basically. And it doesn't add any credit to my own school. Like, I literally took a break in between the school years of my own school and came here and sort of gained nothing school-wise. Yeah, so you stay with a host family and you go to a school, but you have no influence on where you go or if you get picked by a host family. Like, they can't even guarantee that you get picked.
That's all in the host family. So
yeah.
We scrolled and picked Sophie.
Yeah, so I had to make this sort of like my Tinder profile, but for host families to like talk a little bit about myself and
we swiped right.
Yeah, you guys got to pick. I couldn't say, like I said, you can say no. Like, the host family that picked you, that's just where you were gonna go. And I think you could pay like €1,000 if you haven't had a preferred state or like a coast or something, but I didn't do any of that. I was just like, no, I'll see where I'll end up. And that's how I got in touch with the amazing Bainey family. Including Brooke, who is now, this is crazy, Brooke is now 16. And the first time I talked to her, she was 11. So, but yeah, so how was the process for you guys to like pick how did you choose to get an exchange student?
So we have family friends. They're a really big family. Our parents have known each other for a very long time. And our family, they did an exchange year where they had a student from, I think, France come and stay with them. It was a really long time ago though. And they talked about how much they loved the experience. So my mom started talking about it. She was like, what if we did that? You know, hypothetically, what if we did that?
Yeah.
And I don't think Dad was on board with it at first. I think he was like, 2 kids is enough, Robin. But then as my mom talked about it more and more, I think my dad grew onto the idea and they would be pretty cool to have someone come live with us for a year. So finally, I think the beginning of my 6th grade year, we really started thinking about it. And at the end of my 6th grade year, we had dead set decided on, yes, we are going to do this the year 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of the school year, we, also paired up with Travel Active and, did the scrolling through all the Tinder profiles. Yeah. And I saw Sophie, and my mom showed me Sophie, and it was like a picture of her with greenery in the background. I don't remember, but it was like interests, and one of them was musical theater, and that's what sold me on Sophie. So they continued to look at other people, but I was set on Sophie. Aww. I would not accept anyone else. So my parents could see that I was set on Sophie too. So
really,
chose
you
Sophie.
picked me.
Yes, I'm the reason she's here. I'm not the reason. Yes, I am the one who picked Sophie. I would not settle on anyone else.
Oh, I didn't really know that you were the one who really made the decision.
I really wanted Sophie.
I thought you guys were like almost on this other German girl that like played field hockey or something.
That's the one that my mom and my dad chose.
Scandalous.
I know. And Jack,
they chose someone else.
Jack didn't care. My brother Jack had no, he didn't really care.
He must have been what, like 8 at the time?
Yeah, he was
like,
really young.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Foreign person.
The girl come live with us?
Doesn't matter.
I think they saw how much I really wanted Sophie, so we chose Sophie.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then for me, the school year of 2016, 2017, we were just preparing everything and, applying for everything and just getting everything in order, waiting, by the way, because it's not like I got picked straight away. Like, that was a pretty scary time because you didn't know if you were going to get picked. And they always said, we can't guarantee it, but so far it's never happened that you've not been picked. But technically, you know, if you don't get picked, you don't get picked, right? I got the phone call about them the day before we had a Travel Active meeting. So I thought they were calling me. I remember it so clearly. I was walking down the stairs of my school. I just done a test. And they called me, and I was so sure that it was just about something that I needed to do before that meeting. I was like, oh, maybe I didn't give my passport details correctly, or like, I'm sure something's up. And then they called me, and she was like, Sophie, hi, congratulations. You've been placed. We found you a family. And I just, oh my God, it was such a beautiful moment, because you guys had written a letter about yourself as well. And,
yes. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, like just introducing yourself, and yeah, there's a little girl and a little boy, and they like theater, and they're called the Bainies, and they're in Maryland. And I was like, you know what's really bad? I was like, Maryland, cool. What state is that in? Like, I didn't know the states. I didn't know Maryland was a state. And I remember they sent me this PDF about Maryland with like fun facts about Maryland.
Oh my gosh.
So that was a really beautiful moment. So, and I didn't tell anyone at school that I was going, because I was like, I don't want to be that person who's like, I'm actually leaving next year. I'm spending a year in the States. And then if something went wrong, or like I didn't go, and then, you know, I just didn't want to lose face. So I told my friend, I didn't tell any of my friends until it was really certain. And then I went the 23rd of August, 2017. Travel Active took all of the kids that were in that like time set, because it was dependent on when your high school started that you left. So I was with, I think, only 6 or 7 other Dutch kids, and we did a couple of days in New York first, which was really nice. And then at 3 a.m. on the 26th of August, they put me on a plane by myself from New York to DC, which is where the Bainey family was coming to pick me up. Do you remember that?
I remember that. Oh, wow.
You remember the sign? And you were super excited.
Yeah. Jack was like...
Jack didn't want to give me a hug just yet. He was shy. He was like...
He was like, oh...
I need a minute. And basically from that moment on, I think we clicked pretty much instantly as a family. Like, we've not really had any issues, because I know from other exchange students, like people who did the same thing with families, like some people switched families, or some people had a pretty decent time but then lost touch after they left, whereas I've left like almost 4 years at this point. Mm-hmm. And we're still good. So I think we just really connected as a family. So that was pretty good. And then the rest of my year here was really amazing as well, because Robin is actually a teacher at the high school that I went to, which you may have seen in the vlogs that I posted, which is another incredible privilege. Like, that was so convenient. Like, even now, if she wasn't a teacher at that school, I don't think I would have gotten access to like see my old teachers and stuff, right? Because that's just because she works there. But so that was great, because she could pull strings for me, like within the school, if I didn't like a class, or if something wasn't going right. Like, I think at first I was placed in a math class that was a little bit harder than I was used to, or maybe not even harder, but like it just wasn't the type of math that I'd been doing in the Netherlands. So I was kind of like, I don't think I can do this math. So then, you know, she made sure that I was put in an easier math class. And then later that year, when we actually figured out that I didn't even need to take math according to the program, she was like, why don't we just put you in show choir, which was much more fun. And she made sure that I took a class named broadcasting, which I was a little bit like uncertain about at first. I don't know why, it just didn't sound that fun to me. But that ended up being one of the most fun classes ever. That's where I learned to edit, like, and there's so much footage of me in the States because I was in that class. We did the morning announcements. So that was super fun. But I think the most fun was probably the theater department. And Brooke knows all about that too, because she's now in the same theater department with the same theater teacher. She's actually student director and lead, and she basically runs the place now. We weren't there at the same time, by the way, because she was still in middle school.
But she's the reason I'm in theater.
No, you would have gone into theater either way. You picked me because you were into theater, so you would have always gone into theater.
Okay, maybe.
But so this school, another great piece of luck that I have, is that the school that I got to go to has this massive, incredible theater department with a really good theater director who puts pretty much his whole life into the department, and he has the mixed skills of like the passion for theater and directing, but also he's an incredible builder, and he builds really good sets, and he happens to also be into photography, so he takes awesome photos of everything and does all the promotion and everything for it. And the rest, it's all pretty much student-led. Like, we have a student director, the students are set designers, the students like design the costumes, I'm pretty sure, as well. They do makeup, and it's just, it's taken seriously in a way that I hadn't really seen before in the Netherlands. Like, even because I'd done theater in the Netherlands, but that was like once a week that we rehearsed for something, and like people had lives outside of theater, where I'd say like the theater kids in high school, because we rehearsed every day after school. It was just our life. The first show I did in Patuxent High School was The Three Musketeers, and it was already cast and pretty much rehearsing, I think, already. But Price, the director, managed to squeeze me in as like an extra, so I was just in it for, you know, for fun. I think I did like maybe a dance or two, or I was like in 4 scenes maybe, but it was really fun to work on it and to meet all the people and stuff. And I was also in advanced acting, the class, you know, so I had acting class every day, because in America your schedule is the same every day, so that was super fun. That's how I got to know the director better, and how I made some friends in the theater department. I was on the improv team, which I loved. I love improv. That's really something I miss. But I think the biggest thing theater-wise for me came in December, when I was cast as Ursula in The Little Mermaid, which was just incredible, because that was one of the lead parts. Obviously, the 2 lead parts were pretty much Ariel and Ursula, for female-wise at least, and it was incredible. Like, I can't express enough what an experience that was for me to play Ursula. It was hard work, and I got to sing a lot. I got these big solo performances in front of like the sold-out theater, which was just a life-changing experience. And yeah, that was pretty incredible. So that was theater. That was a pretty incredible experience. I can try to think of another word than incredible, but like, it was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall, the theater department really took over my life. The classes I took were so different from what I had in the Netherlands. I think I had 3 AP classes, in which I learned so much, and the other classes were mainly just fun classes, but in which I still learned a lot. Like, for example, the broadcasting class, I learned how to edit. I had so much fun making videos, and yeah, that's definitely something that I look back on, where it's like, that was a really enriching experience as well, like just that class on its own. And then at the end of the year, which is another thing that I still don't really believe looking back on it, but I went to prom, and I was actually prom queen. As well, which is just like, looking back, just like, why? You know, maybe, I'm pretty sure that it's just because I was like an exchange student, right? And this school, there was actually another exchange student from Norway there, but other than that, like, most of these kids I don't think had ever seen a non-American. So every time I would tell anyone that I was like, oh, I'm actually a Dutch exchange student, people would be like, oh my god, really? Like, that's so cool. How long are you here for? Where are you staying? Like, people were just really interested in it. And I think because of that, and maybe because I was in the broadcasting as well, you know, people like maybe know my face from that a little bit. Oh, and I was Ursula. So yeah, I won prom queen as well. So I pretty much had the perfect exchange year. I literally cannot think of a single thing that I look back on and wish that maybe was different, or that I had done differently, or that was changed, and I can't even say like, oh, I wish I enjoyed it more, or I wish I cherished it more or something, because I feel like I was constantly really aware of how lucky and privileged I was with how well everything was going. And then we just always stayed in touch. Yeah. The first Christmas, actually, after the year I was here, I came back.
It's like so 5.5 months later, she was back.
Yeah, so that was that made the goodbye a little bit easier, because we knew that we would see each other soon again. It must have been so different if we were just like, maybe next year in summer, maybe, you know, but
that would have been a lot harder.
I think, yeah, we booked it before I even left, so that was good. And then, was that only the year after that you guys came?
Yeah, the next, yeah.
That was the summer after summer 2019. They came to Europe for 3 weeks?
A while, like a month.
Yeah.
Mom and I were there for a month, but Jack and Dad flew over for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
to see Sophie.
Yeah, and then we did a road trip together. We actually got to explore Europe together as well, which is so cool.
And we got to see where Sophie lived.
Yeah, that's right. Went to my house, saw my hometown. They actually came to my graduation.
I did, yes.
Yeah,
which was really fun.
Yeah.
We did go to her graduation.
Because I was part of the graduation in America, which was also really fun, but it was fake. I think
she was actually graduating.
My diploma is like a participation award or something. Like it's not, because I got like a nice little booklet, but it's not actually. But yeah, you guys were like there just in time for my actual graduation, because it was really far into the summer already. It wasn't actually like your last day of school and then graduation. So that was really fun that you, and my graduation party where you got to meet like most of my family.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. So that was pretty awesome. And then we were gonna do our biggest stretch yet. We were gonna do a whole year before we saw each other again, because I would come there here in summer 2020, and I think Robin had a pretty cool trip planned where we would go up north and maybe even go into Canada and come back down. But you know,
COVID. That
was the summer of 2020. I think we all know what happened that summer. You know, time passed.
Yeah.
It's now December 2021. We booked the tickets for me to come back here in June when everything was still closed. We were just like, let's just book it. We'll see.
See what happens.
See what happens. It wasn't even the original plan to surprise them. We weren't like, let's book this as a surprise for the kids. We just booked it, and straight away we were like, should we not tell them? And that's been a couple of days ago now, and here I am.
Here she is.
So hopefully this video was interesting and helpful for those who are wondering, what is a host family and why do I have one? And yeah, that was pretty much in a nutshell the year I had when I lived here. So thank you for watching, and maybe see you next time. Oh my god, we weren't filming. No, I'm kidding.